Hi everyone, this is Kendra and Ruben Willard with Lift Them Up International. We're happy to report that Ruben has gone and returned home safely from the East African Emergency Relief Scouting trip. And thanks to you, his trip was fully funded and he was able to do what he needed to do to understand the situation and to begin relief efforts to save lives.
Yeah, thank you so much for your generous support. Kendra and the board of directors and myself are constantly amazed at God's provision through people like you. Together with our team in Rwanda, I was able to better understand the civil war that is happening in DR Congo, who the governing powers are in that war, and how we can reach into the conflict zone to help displaced people who are vulnerable to acts of genocide during this time. You have also generously supplied enough money to begin emergency relief efforts through us in Congo. This week, through our network of Christian pastors and churches, we were able to safely hide and feed 25 displaced families in a major conflict zone. We'll be sharing pictures and stories on Instagram page and by email.
The families are widows and single mothers, along with their children, who have fled their villages because of fighting and are vulnerable to attacks from retreating militias.
M23, a well-organized and well-funded rebel group, has taken control of key cities surrounding Lake Kivu, the border between DRC and Rwanda. You may have heard about them in the news, but we believe that the mainstream media is getting the narrative wrong about them. They are native Congolese, and their uprising is in response to years of corruption and heavy persecution of minority groups in eastern DRC. According to M23 leadership, their goal is to provide stability and representation for minority Congolese and to put a stop to the violent atrocities committed against civilians by armed forces of Congo and other militias in the region. I can personally attest to the stability in the cities I visited where M23 is in control. As these other groups are retreating, they are trying to do as much damage as possible on the way out. They are attacking, pillaging, and raping the locals before disappearing deeper into the jungle or escaping into the neighboring nation of Burundi.
But we are gathering up as many displaced women and children as we can and keeping them off of the streets and out of the bush. We've discreetly rented a hotel inside of a current conflict zone, and we're feeding and sheltering the people there. We've even been able to hire private security to guard the hotel.
We've raised enough to keep these families sheltered in this up until this Saturday, but we need to raise another $4,200 to keep them sheltered for the next 2 weeks. This should give M23 enough time to move into the area and provide stability in their city.
And anything that we raise beyond the $4,200 would be put toward hiding and sheltering even more displaced widows, single moms, and their children. So let's see what we can do. God connected us all together for such a time as this, and I'm excited to see all that He's going to do beyond all that we could hope or think or imagine. If you feel led to give to this project, please go to our secure website at liftthemup.org. That's liftthemup.org. Then select the Funds and Causes tab and then the East African Release Fund. Anything that comes over this next week will go toward our Operation Hotel Congo. And we are so incredibly grateful for all the prayers and support that have been poured out over the past couple weeks. Thank you, and God bless you.